Well, good morning and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Trust you are well on this Tuesday morning. It is a little overcast here in West Central Florida. We're going to get some rain probably about in an hour or two. It's going to be bad, but it's moving pretty quickly. Like the old folks used to always say, we could use the rain. So in any case, again, trust that you are well today. I often wonder, and I have this conversation with a lot of people. Uh, do Americans really know what's going on in America? The people in the United States really understand what's going on. Now, we know that Americans are increasingly concerned about the massive influx of illegal immigration crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. So much so that it's become the top voter concern in a recent Gallup survey. But what most of us don't know is that the country is not just being invaded by land, it's with the help of the federal government. Hundreds of thousands, wait, do you hear what I said? Hundreds of thousands of individuals hoping to cross into the US with no legal right to be here are being assisted by this Biden administration. And I know this is one of those things you're like, you got to bring receipts. Okay, no worries. So, according to a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit filed by the Center for Immigration Studies, U.S. Customs and Border Patrols, U.S. Customs and Border Patrols approved secretive flights for 320,000 inadmissible aliens just last year. The individuals were pre-approved by the Customs and Border Patrol One app and flew into 43 of the 50 flew into 43 U.S. airports, though the government refuses to identify which airports. The agency's lawyers have cited a general, quote, law enforcement exception, without elaborating. Until recently, on how releasing airport locations would harm public safety beyond citing the sensitivity of the information. This administration doesn't want us to know that in an airport near us, they're dropping off hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens. You just have to wonder why. Now, though the CS5 litigation has yielded a novel and newsworthy answer from the government, the public cannot know the receiving airports because those hundreds of thousands of CBP authorized arrivals have created such operational vulnerabilities at airports that bad actors could undermine law enforcement officers to secure the United States border. If they knew the volume of the CBP1 traffic process at each port of entry. In short, the Biden administration's legally dubious program to fly inadmissible aliens over the border and directly into the U.S. Has allegedly created law enforcement vulnerabilities too grave to release publicly. So they're trying to get you to worry about, if we let you know, then some bad actors could take advantage of it. Well, I got news for you. What we already know is that some bad actors are on these flights of hundreds of thousands of people already coming into the US. And a lot of us just go about our daily lives, just la di da di da, la di da di da, la di da di da. Do I have Taylor Swift? Through the CBP One app, the individuals apply for travel authorization, and then once they get here, the parole program gives them a 2-year period of legal status, allowing them to work. So not only do they come here, they get the legal ability to work, to take a job away from an American who's looking for a job, to take a job away from somebody who is struggling to pay their way through college, to take a job from someone who's struggling to feed their family or get that second job because of inflation, right? This is what's happening to you. And you know what? This administration is doing it to you. This administration is doing it to you. This more direct entry facilitated by the Biden administration lowers the total number of illegal border crossings at ports of entry. So this is the game, right? This is the shell game. If we just fly people in, they just figure out that they just go on the app, wait for the plane to show up, then the border crossings go down. And then they say, see, our efforts are working. And some of y'all just go, yeah, see, it's working. I mean, the same people who think that inflation is down, although you pay more for groceries than you've ever paid for groceries, some of you in your lives. Anyway, so this program at the center of the Freedom of Information litigation is perhaps the most enigmatic and least known of the Biden administration uses of the CBP one cell phone scheduling app, even though it is responsible for invisibly importing by air 320,000 illegal aliens with no legal right to enter the United States since it got underway in late 2022. It remains part of the administration's, quote, lawful pathways strategy, with its stated purpose being to reduce the number of illegal border crossings. Yeah, of course, because who needs to cross the border when you can fly across on an airplane to the city of your choice? Folks, can you see what's happening? While the government won't say which foreign airports the inadmissible aliens are coming from, according uh, to some people on the ground, only citizens in Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Colombia, and Ecuador are eligible for the program. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So they can say that, but they're not telling us where they're going. This is an incredible thing. Now, okay, I don't think that Joe Biden is sitting in his basement coming up with this stuff. I'm guessing that Joe Biden doesn't even know what's happening. Not that I'm relieving him of any responsibility for it, but he doesn't even know what's happening. This is the deep state we keep talking about, right? Wow, absolutely amazing. It's happening right here and right now. We'll be back. Well, hey everybody, I'm Willie Lawson of fightbackmedia.com and the Morning Report. Well, I got you. Well, I got your attention. I need you to do something for me. Um, those of you who have been following me for a while know that recently, back in November, I had a health crisis, and I had another one, 11 years ago. And through everything, that when they say, behind every great man is even a greater woman. I don't know how great I am, if I'm great at all. But what I know for sure is that I have a great woman behind me, beside me, and sometimes in front of me. Um, I'm a believer that marriage is not a 50-50 proposition. It's a 100% proposition, because sometimes when you got nothing, when you're laying flat on your back, trying to breathe, trying not to die, and I don't mean that hyperbolically, I mean that for real. Somebody's got to come with 100. This woman here comes with 100. when you got nothing, when you can offer them nothing. Woman comes with 100. We have a YouTube channel, and it's called Deb's Life, and we do it together. I'd like for you, if you support me at all by watching any of these videos, if you're watching now, that if you would go to the link that's in the description box and subscribe to our family channel, because that's really our family channel, I would be highly appreciative. I'm not asking you to donate. I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm just asking you to help us gain some subscribers. That's all I'm asking. If you do that, I'd be highly appreciative. All right, we got to get out of here. Thank you again. Remember this, never forget, we love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Bye-bye now. Well, good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Trust you are well on this it's Tuesday, right? Tuesday morning. We've got some rain coming in here in West Central Florida in a little bit, but right now it's a little windy, a little overcast. Temperature is good though. It's I don't know. I don't know what the temperature is. I don't have any idea, but I was out there a little bit ago. It's not bad. It's probably in the upper 60s. Any case, I trust that again, you are well. I have this conversation with people all the time. I just have to wonder, and I'm sure that you wonder, does anybody really know what's going on? Does anybody really get it? The story this morning is this. Americans are increasingly concerned about the massive influx of illegal immigration across the U.S.-Mexico border. That's a given. So much that it's become a top voter concern in a recent Gallup survey. But what they don't know is that the country is not just being invaded by land. With the help of the federal government, listen to this, hundreds of thousands of individuals hoping to cross into the U.S. with no legal right to be here are being assisted by this Biden administration. According to the Freedom of Information Act, well, good evening. Welcome to the evening report, morning report. It is Super Tuesday, and it is 11 p.m., and the results from at least Utah and California should start rolling in right now. What's really happening here is the presidential preference primaries, or presidential preference primaries. That's what they call it. That's what's happening. This could be the night that Trump locks it up. It could be, or get so close that it doesn't matter. And this could be the night that Nikki Haley actually officially quits. We will look at that all in a few moments, but right now, let's go ahead. As you can probably see on the screen already, are the Republican primary results. Trump, the Trump is in the red. Places like Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, North Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa. We've already seen Iowa, and other places around around the country. And excuse me, there you go. Can I put that back where it was? I can't. So and the results are starting to come in for California with 169 delegates. And then Utah should be in a little bit. Their caucus is today. They're having caucuses. So caucuses because of their nature, take a little longer to come in. But California has primaries, so they should be coming in. So let's go state by state of what's happening today. In Vermont, Nikki Haley actually is going to win. Looks like she might win Vermont and get 9 delegates out of it. Right now, she is up with most of the with 89% of the votes in. The expected votes are in. Nikki Haley is up 50.4% to Donald Trump's 45.6%, with Chris Christie trailing the pack at 1.4%. Let's look at Virginia as we move down through the country. We have Trump leading handily, 63% to Nikki Haley's 34%. Let's go to North Carolina, North Kakalaki. We have Trump at 74%, Nikki Haley at 22%. Ron DeSantis coming in at 1.3%. Doesn't matter because Ron DeSantis is not running anymore. In kind of a weird one, we have in Arkansas, we have Trump at 76.1%, Haley at 19.1%, and Asia Hutchinson at 2.9%. Wow, with 64% of the vote already counted. I don't know. Anyway, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And Alabama, even in Greenbow, Alabama, we have the Trumpster at 83.9% of the vote to Haley's 12.3% of the vote, and all 29 delegates going to 29 delegates right now going to of the 50 going to Donald Trump. And that was just a change there. Trump's at 83.8% to Nikki Haley's 12.5% in Alabama. In Maine, Trump with 86% of the vote in, Trump is ahead 70.8% to Nikki Haley's 26.4%. Massachusetts, who can spell that unless you live there? That's why I can never go there or live there because I can't spell it. Let's see here. There was one change. Trump lost a tenth of a point, but still leads handily 60.7% to 35.8%, and right now has won all 40 delegates of Massachusetts. Oklahoma, with 78% of the votes cast, 81.8% to Trump, 15.9% to Nikki Haley. In Tennessee, the projected winner is Donald Trump with 77.4% of the vote to Nikki Haley's 19.5%, with 77% of the votes counted. Let's go to Colorado. Now, Colorado had some trouble because they had taken Trump off the ballot. Well, obviously they figured out they couldn't, right? They couldn't. So Trump on the ballot in Colorado wins 63% of the vote, and they have some proportional distribution of delegates in Colorado. Of the 37 delegates, Trump currently has 21 of those delegates with 63% of the vote. Nikki Haley has won 11% at this point, with 33.3% of the vote. On the Minnesota goes for Trump in the Republican presidential preference primary, 67.7% to Nikki Haley's 30.2%, and wins, and it currently has 16 delegates of the 39. In Texas, big prize in Texas, 161 delegates available, and Trump is up 78% to Nikki Haley 17%. Nothing in from California yet, with 179 delegates hanging out there. Wow. And then nothing from Utah is way too early to call because it's a caucus state, and being a caucus state takes a lot longer to get those results in. They'll probably win. Alaska, the poll zone closed for another hour, and so we'll see what happens there. So let's look at what's at stake right now. Is that what I wanted? No, that's not what I wanted at all. What I wanted to do is look at the delegate tracker, because this is where it could all come to an end tonight for Nikki Haley and even Donald Trump to one degree. In order to get the nomination, Donald Trump has to go into the convention with 1,215 delegates. Right now, with the delegates won and the delegates projected, Donald Trump has 911 delegates. of the 1215 that he needs. Nikki Haley has 78. There is no path, and this is what we talk about when we say, is there a path for Nikki Haley? No, there is no path for Nikki Haley to win the nomination. None, zero. It can't happen. There aren't enough delegates left. Donald Trump has 75% of the delegates already. As you see, Joe Biden at this point will win the Democrat nomination because he has 1,360 delegates of the 1,968 delegates needed. Only two at this point are uncommitted. There's no path for anybody else. This is going to be a redo, folks. There isn't anything going on but a redo. Let's see what we've got left. This is Super Tuesday. Super Tuesday includes Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, California, and Colorado, Iowa, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, and Virginia, and American Samoa. What's happening next week? We have on the 6th, no, tomorrow. We have elections on tomorrow too. Hawaii, American Samoa, does a Republican caucus. Then Georgia, I just said Hawaii, does the Republican National, the Republican Presidential Caucus. They do a caucus too. Then Mississippi, both Democrat and Republican. The North Mariana Islands does a Democratic primary. Washington State does a Democrat and Republican primaries. All the Democrats abroad, there are 13 delegates there. And then on those are, let's see, yeah, Georgia, Hawaii, Mississippi, North Mariana Islands, Washington, and Democrats abroad are all going to be on the 12th. On the 15th, we have Northern Mariana Islands, and there are 9 Republican delegates, and then Guam, and there are 9 Republican delegates. On the 19th is Arizona, Florida, with 125 delegates. Illinois with 64, Kansas with 39, Ohio with 79. And the next, on Saturday, it is Louisiana and Missouri. The Democrats have North Dakota on the 30th. On April 2nd, there's a primary runoff in Arkansas. If need be, I don't think that's going to be a thing. In Connecticut, Republican and Democrat primaries, Delaware primaries, New York, Rhode Island, Wisconsin, and a primary runoff if necessary in Mississippi. And April 6th, Alaska for Democrats, and the 13th, it's Democrats in Wyoming. And on the 16th, also, Alabama will have primary runoff as necessary. Puerto Rico on the 21st for Republicans, 23 delegates of the state. On the 23rd, in Pennsylvania, both Republican and Democrat delegates, and Puerto Rico Democrat delegates on the 28th. And as you can see these numbers, there are not enough numbers for Nikki Haley to make up the difference. Right now, Trump's at 911 delegates to Nikki Haley 78. This is what they talk about when there is no path to victory for Nikki Haley. My guess would be that Nikki Haley, if she hasn't already gotten out, will make an announcement very soon that she's done. She's like, you know what? I gave it my best shot. But it just, and like they all say, when they have to suspend their campaign or quit, they have to go, well, the country is saying that not yet, not now, right? So this is, yeah, the Alaska caucuses end in about 47 minutes. So it's going to be at least 3 hours before before there's any results, and it won't be in this broadcast. It just won't be. Anyway, let's see here. And I don't see, and I'm looking for some announcements from Nikki Haley if they this will go if she comes out and says anything before too long, we will address it right here, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen yet. All righty. Let's see here. Let me stop that. All right. Now we've seen what's happening. Now we've seen what's happening. This is a time, this is a really good time for a lot of people who were hoping for somebody else as Republicans to get used to the idea of what we got. There are a lot of Republicans that were hoping that this would be Ron DeSantis this time. They were. I don't think there are many Republicans thinking that this is a great time for Chris Christie. There were some Republicans going, golly, wouldn't it be incredible if we had somebody like Vivek Ramaswamy, right? Who was viable? Not viable. Was never viable. And then there were even some. I mentioned this, a few weeks ago. Excuse me for rubbing my eye in front of you. That maybe we should take a look at Nikki Haley. Well, that happened. Republicans took a look at Nikki Haley and said no. So it's basically a resounding, oh hell no, really? Don't you think? It's a resounding, yeah, you got to be kidding me, right? Right now, 911 delegates to 78. No path. Because Trump's going to win California. And with that, that should slam the door. Early results with only 8% in, Trump is up at 72.5%. With California, that should shut the door. That should end it. We should, it's one of those things where, I remember when Florida used to be one of those places where we look forward to Florida, but I don't think in this particular election that Florida is going to matter. We are insignificant at this point. I don't like that. I like being important. 169 delegates. That would put Trump at 1080, needing 1215. Let's see here. Yeah, that would close the door. That would be all there would be. There aren't enough delegates. There's no path to victory. So we're just going to wait. And if we have to do the program in the morning and cover her speech, then we will do that. We'll do that then. So there is, and I've been saying all along, and I still believe it. Nikki Haley doesn't have to get out. She can stay and she could campaign for it as long as she wants to. She could be the anti-Trump until they run out of money. To where she's doing what I'm doing. She's on YouTube because I know from her house, because that's the only way that she can get her message out, because all she has money for is her cable bill. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Because unfortunately for her, this race is over. It's over. For all intents and purposes, Trump is a nominee. Trump is a presumptive nominee. I'll say it that way. If you are still backing someone else, even if you signed your loyalty oath, you can continue to do that until the convention. And I'm saying it this way because I mentioned yesterday, day before, in a program where someone actually came after me. Someone local came after me because I mentioned that I wasn't supporting Donald Trump at that point. And according to the loyalty oath that I signed, and I did sign it, that I would back whoever the nominee was. Well, there wasn't an official nominee. It kind of turned into a big deal for me because I got a call from a local reporter, popular reporter, and and he mentioned that I was, being some sort of, I don't know, insurrectionist, and I was going against the party, and in my position as a former candidate, a Republican candidate, and a person who was, a member of the Republican Executive Committee, that I shouldn't be doing that, and I should explain myself. Didn't have to explain anything really because I'm a human being and I'm a citizen of this nation. I could back anybody I want anytime I get ready. But I had to explain to, and the reporter was William Marsh. For those of you who listen to the program, who watch the program, who are from out this area, you guys have read William Marsh before. And normally, William Marsh is actually I like William. He was cool during the convention time, um, and he thought of me a little differently when he came by when he walked by, and he saw that I was at the Republican National Convention, and that our program, the Willie Austin Show, was on Radio Row. That lent some credibility to what we were doing, and that took so much. Um, that's probably my shining moment um, thus far. So anyway, so he thought he thought it weird that I wasn't backing Trump at that point. But I told him we don't have a nominee yet. The Republicans don't have a nominee until the convention. Is Donald Trump, was he at that point a presumptive nominee that we thought so? Yes. Just like now, he's a presumptive nominee. So if Nikki Haley doesn't leave the race and the others stay in,